Mesac Damas, the man who killed his entire family in Florida. True crime documentary. A family that seemed whole. From the outside, the Damas family looked like any other striving household in suburban Florida. Naples, a beautiful coastal city known for beaches, palm trees, and sun, was where Mesac and Guerline Damas were raising their 6 children. Yes, 6. 5 boys and 1 baby girl. The house was often filled with the sounds of kids playing, laughing, arguing, the usual symphony of family life. Guerline, a dedicated mother and devout Christian, worked hard to support the children, while Mesac floated between jobs and unstable tempers. To friends and neighbors, they were a busy Haitian-American family doing their best. But beneath the surface, something far darker was growing, something no one saw coming, until it was far too late. A man full of control and conflict. Mesac Damas was born in Haiti and moved to the U.S. in his teens. He worked as a cook and held various jobs, but he always seemed restless and angry. He was deeply religious, or at least he said he was. He quoted scripture often, claimed to follow the Bible, and preached to his family about obedience and loyalty. But behind the words was a man obsessed with control. His relationship with Guerline was volatile from the beginning. There were frequent fights, often over money and jealousy. Damas accused her of cheating, without evidence. He hated her independence. He feared her leaving him. Guerline confided in friends that he was emotionally abusive, controlling, possessive, and sometimes violent. But like many women in toxic marriages, she stayed for the kids, for faith, for hope. They separated briefly in 2009. Guerline had had enough, but Mesac came back, pleading, promising to change. She allowed him back into their lives. A decision that would soon prove fatal. The build-up to the crime, the weeks leading up to September 2009 were tense. Mesac had lost his job. Money was tight. He grew paranoid and irritable. Guerline had started attending church more often and hinted to friends she was ready to leave for good. That was Mesac's biggest fear, abandonment. He couldn't imagine Guerline taking the kids and leaving them behind. He saw them as his property, his image, his pride. In his twisted mind, if he couldn't have them, no one would. On September 17th, Guerline filed for a restraining order, telling family members she was finally leaving him. That same day, Mesac picked up a fillet knife from the kitchen, and everything changed. The murders, one by one, room by room. In the quiet of the night between September 17th and 18th, 2009, inside a modest home on 17th Place Southwest in Naples, Florida, Mesac Damas committed one of the most horrific family murders in U.S. history. He first attacked Guerline. He slit her throat while she was either asleep or unaware. The details remain chillingly unclear. Then he moved through the house, killing his children one by one. He slit the throats of his 5 boys. Mesac 9, Marvin 6, Maven 5, Megan 3, Morgan 1, and finally, he murdered his baby daughter, 11-month-old Michaela. He claimed later in interviews that he cried as he did it, that he told them he loved them, that he kissed them goodbye. But no amount of twisted logic could explain away what happened. He left their bodies where they lay, piled in bedrooms, in corners of the home. The smell of blood began to rise. And then he packed a bag and fled. Escaped to Haiti and a shocking confession. After the murders, Damas withdrew nearly $1,000 from the bank and booked a flight to Port-au-Prince, Haiti. He didn't call 911, didn't alert family, didn't leave a note. He just vanished. Days passed. Guerline's family grew desperate. They hadn't heard from her or the kids. On September 19th, police forced entry into the home. What they found would haunt the most seasoned officers. Blood everywhere. 6 children and 1 woman. All dead, all victims of the same brutal method. The nation watched in horror. The FBI issued a warrant. Mesac Damas was now a fugitive. But strangely, just 2 days later, Damas walked into the Haitian police station on his own. Not to confess, but to boast. He told reporters, "I did it. The devil made me do it. I know I'm going to hell." His eyes wide, his words wild, his face disturbingly calm. In one interview, he even smiled, back to the U.S. and into madness. U.S. Marshals flew to Haiti and returned Mesac Damas to Florida to face justice. But what followed wasn't a straightforward trial. From the start, Damas was unstable. In court, he shouted about demons, about being chosen by God, about the end of the world. He refused lawyers, then demanded new ones. He went on hunger strikes. He shaved his eyebrows and carved crosses into his arms. Psychiatrists were called in repeatedly. Some said he was malingering, faking symptoms to avoid punishment. Others believed he had genuine psychosis. Years passed in legal limbo. The trial stalled again and again. Guerline's family waited in agony for justice. The community mourned the 6 children whose lives had been stolen so violently. Finally, in 2017, nearly 8 years after murders, Mesac Damas was deemed competent to stand trial. He pleaded guilty. He said he wanted the death penalty. He said it was God's will. Sentencing and aftermath in a Florida courtroom. Filled with photographs of Guerline and her children, the judge delivered the sentence. Death. Damas was sent to Florida State Prison, where he remains on death row. He continues to rant, file bizarre legal motions, and sometimes refuses food or showers. He claims he's a prophet, a messenger, but no one's listening. Because at the end of the day, Mesac Damas didn't just kill a family. He destroyed a community. 6 beautiful children, a devoted mother, gone in one night of rage and control. Why family annihilators kill? What makes someone kill their own family? It's a question we ask again and again in these cases. The truth is, there's often a pattern. Psychologists refer family killers like Mesac Damas as family annihilators. These are men, most often men, who feel their power slipping away, fear being abandoned or humiliated, see their family not as people, but as extensions of themselves. Instead of facing shame, divorce, or financial ruin, they choose annihilation. Some do it quickly, some plan it for weeks. But in almost every case, they believe it's the only way to regain control. Damas was insane. He was controlling, and he was losing that control. Final reflection, the warning signs. The signs were there. Guerline tried to leave. She told people she was afraid. There were past domestic incidents. But like so many women in abusive relationships, she stayed, hoping, praying, trying to keep the peace for the sake of her kids. It cost her everything. This case reminds us that silence can kill. That love without safety is not love at all. If someone in your life controls your money, isolates you, accuses you constantly, or threatens harm, it doesn't have to escalate to murder for it to be abuse. Trust your instincts. Get help. Tell someone. Because sometimes walking away is the bravest and safest thing you can do. The Damas case is one of the most heartbreaking family murders in U.S. history. Not because it was shocking, but because it could have been prevented. Remember the names: Guerline, Mesac, Marvin, Maven, Megan, Morgan, Michaela. 7 lives, all gone. Share their story. Learn from it. Speak up for someone who might not feel safe to speak for themselves. If you found this video helpful, informative, or moving, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll continue to tell the real stories behind the headlines, to honor the victims and help others spot the signs before it's too late. Until next time, stay safe, stay alert, and always trust your gut.